Why don't you just take it over?
Well, that's what
So
I
give
did.
Imagine being told that the wine in your hand might be a taste of heaven. One sentence, one metaphor, and suddenly a calm Sunday service exploded into one of the most heated debates the modern church has seen. That's exactly what happened when Bishop Hogan delivered a line no one expected. A line that would shake congregations, dominate social media, and expose the pressure behind the pulpit in a way few were ready for. It started like any other Sunday at New Life Cathedral. The choir finished their final song, the congregation was energized, and cameras rolled for thousands watching the live stream. Bishop Hogan stepped up with his usual confidence. Then, midway through preaching about joy and divine fulfillment, he leaned forward and said quietly but clearly, "If you've ever tasted a good wine and felt peace for a moment, imagine heaven being like that, but eternal." For a second, the sanctuary went still. A few laughed, assuming he was being metaphorical. Others exchanged confused looks. But online, that single line took on a life of its own. A clipped video was posted with the caption, "Bishop Hogan says heaven feels like drinking wine," and within hours the outrage flooded in. Some called it blasphemous. Others said it was harmless symbolism. A few insisted it signaled something deeper about how modern faith is evolving. The reaction was swift. Conservative believers argued that wine symbolized temptation and sin, making the comparison offensive. Supporters countered that Hogan had always used bold metaphors to make heaven feel real and relatable. But the debate didn't stop at theology. It became a battle over what preaching is supposed to sound like in the digital age. Days passed without Hogan responding, and that silence only fueled speculation. Headlines circulated. Pastors weighed in. Commentators called his sermon reckless. Then, the following Sunday, he addressed it head-on. He looked into the camera and said, "They took it out of context. I wasn't glorifying alcohol. I was glorifying peace. People chase comfort in temporary things. Heaven is the eternal version of that joy." The church erupted with applause, but outside the building, the split remained. Critics accused him of backpedaling. Supporters celebrated his honesty. Bloggers and influencers revived old sermon clips, claiming he had been making similar comparisons for years. Panels and podcasts debated whether he was refreshing or dangerous, bold or irresponsible. And then came the twist. A leaked video surfaced late one night, allegedly from a private minister's retreat. The footage was grainy, but the voice was unmistakable. Hogan stood before a small group, holding what looked like a glass of wine, saying, "If the saints can't enjoy the beauty of life, then what are we preaching for? Heaven isn't denial, it's divine freedom. God created pleasure. The world corrupted it." Online context disappeared. The clip spread like wildfire. Churches quietly removed his name from event flyers. Some pastors distanced themselves publicly. Hashtags trended. Reaction videos dissected every word. A gospel radio host summed it up. "His theology isn't completely off, but his delivery is reckless." Today, perception matters as much as intention. But instead of hiding, Hogan pushed back harder. He posted a video staring directly into the camera. "If truth makes you uncomfortable, maybe you've been too comfortable with lies." That one sentence sent his supporters cheering and his critics fuming. People called him fearless, delusional, revolutionary, irresponsible, everything in between. Then something shifted. For the first time since the controversy began, Hogan spoke without theatrics, without the bishop's voice, without the pulpit. During a quiet midweek livestream, he finally let people see the man behind the title. He admitted he never meant to cheapen heaven. He said he wasn't thinking about alcohol at all. He was thinking about his father. He shared how his father used to take a sip of wine after a hard week, not for escape but just to breathe. His father once told him, "This little sip doesn't bring me joy. It reminds me that I still need it." Hogan said that moment stayed with him because so many people live exactly like that, craving peace that lasts longer than a moment. "That's what I meant about heaven," he said softly. "It's peace that doesn't fade when the glass is empty." The live stream chat filled with hearts, prayers, and tears. Even some critics admitted they finally understood the heart behind his metaphor. But Hogan wasn't finished. He opened up about the crushing pressure of being a modern pastor. Every word recorded, clipped, judged, mocked, and magnified. He admitted that somewhere along the way, he started preaching for approval instead of truth. He said, Maybe God allowed this controversy to humble me, because I got too comfortable preaching hope without living it. It wasn't self-pity. It was revelation. Slowly the outrage faded. Conversation shifted from scandal to empathy, from theology to transparency. His next sermon was quiet, stripped down, almost tender. He titled it Joy Without a Cup, ending with the words, "Heaven isn't about wine. It's about wholeness. But joy, real joy, is still holy." Whether people agreed with him or not, one thing was clear. Behind every preacher, beneath every microphone and spotlight, there is still just a human being, learning, stumbling, growing, and trying to offer grace while still needing grace themselves.